Hey everybody, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys an updated summer reading recommendations video. So as this is uploaded, I actually uploaded mine a year ago, either today or a year ago yesterday, something like that whenever you guys see this. And I didn't realize it had been exactly a year, like to the day, so that was kind of cool. But I realized in that video, I pretty much showed you guys probably 10 different contemporary books, and that was pretty much it. Next is my children's section. I have Waiting for Normal by Leslie Connor. This one was really good. I would almost consider this more of a middle grade book. It says ages 10 and up. So it's like late elementary school, early middle school. This one's about a girl, and she has a very dysfunctional family, and she moves and makes some new friends. And it's really good. It's kind of sad too, honestly, but I don't know. I just think it was so touching. It really was. The next one is one of my all-time favorite books. I climbed up to my top shelf to pull this down for you guys. It's The Penderwicks by Jean Birdsall. It says a summer tale of 4 sisters, 2 rabbits, and a very interesting boy. This is the most summery book I've ever read. So these 4 girls and their dad go and stay at this house for the summer and all of the fun stuff that comes along with that. This book is so good. I think there's a couple sequels, but this is the very first one and it's my favorite, and I think they pretty much stand on their own. You don't really have to read them in order as far as I'm concerned, but you guys will love that. It's a very sweet book. I really like reading children's books or middle grade books every once in a while, especially ones that I read whenever I was growing up, just for a throwback, just to reminisce and have that nostalgia of those books you read before. Which is why I also threw in Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. And this book is set in Florida. Shout out to my other Floridians out there, because y'all know this is the most Florida book ever. And if you guys don't know about Because of Winn-Dixie, you've been living underneath a rock. It's about a little girl who gets a dog, and his name is Winn-Dixie, and there's all kinds of fun things that she learns over the summer with her dog and all kinds of new people that she meets. And I just think it's a precious book, and the movie's so good, and I just love it, you guys. Up next is our mystery section. The first is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I think I've mentioned this book before on my channel. This book made my brain explode, which is crazy because it's so small. This is only, how many pages is this? It's just around 200 pages. It's so short, but my brain was I don't even have words for what happened when I read this book. I'm not even going to tell you anything about this book. I feel going into it, not knowing is better. There are some kids, basically, and an island and their families, and that's pretty much all you need to know. Other than that, go into this book completely blind, because that's pretty much what I did, and I was so happy that I did, because I was shocked. And I'm so glad I didn't find any spoilers, because I was shook. I don't even like using that word, but I was shook. Oh, so good. Go read it. The next one is Black Ice by Becca. Wow, I was trying to say Becca and Fitzpatrick at the same time. Becca Fitzpatrick. And don't get me wrong, this is really truly not the best book in the entire world, but if you want one of those books that you fly through and kind of has you a little bit on the edge of your seat, this is one of them. It's about a girl who, let me see exactly how this happened before I tell you wrong. Oh, there's a blizzard, and she seeks shelter in a remote cabin, and then some sketchy guys show up and are basically holding her hostage. It was really, really good. I got this the day that it came out, because there was a whole bunch of hype for it, and I don't know. But like I said, the quality of writing is not the best thing in the entire world, but sometimes for a summer read, that's kind of what you want. Just something you can fly through and be done with and have it be quick and interesting, so that's probably my recommendation for that. And then up next, I need to get the rest of the books in this series because I was obsessed with this one, and it's A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavalier. This is basically a retelling of one of the Sherlock Holmes stories. That's all you really need to know, other than the fact it's Charlotte Holmes, and then who's the other person? I can't even find the name on here. I'm blind from my ring light. Yeah, Charlotte Holmes, she's the granddaughter, great-granddaughter of Sherlock Holmes. I don't know, but there's a whole series that's out right now, or 2 or 3 books at least. And I really want to read those next, because that one. So next for my contemporary section, the first one I have isn't technically contemporary, it's poetry, but I threw it in here because I feel like it's been pretty popular recently, and that's Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. This woman has words that just like speak to your soul. That's all I can really say about it. I really want to read her other book called The Sun and Her Flowers, but I haven't yet. I also have on my list, oh my god, what is her name? I can't think of the author's name right now, but she has the book called The Princess Saves Herself in this one, and then she has The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one. I need to get both of those because I'm obsessed with her also. I follow her on Instagram. But poetry has been like a new thing for me recently. Like I really enjoy it. My next contemporary, which is super funny, basically I'm going to say anything by Morgan Matson. And the example I'm going to give you guys, I haven't read it yet, but I just got it 2 days ago, which is really funny because if you go back and watch my video from a year ago, I said that I wanted to buy this book. And I was like, how weird that I made this video a year ago saying I wanted to buy it and just happened to get this 2 days before I filmed a new one. And that's The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Basically, all of her books are so good because not only are they just like really fun contemporaries that you can fly through, but they're also like have like a really touching message in them normally. And I don't know, a lot of her books have made me cry. They're so good. I absolutely love her. It's one of those authors that's on my list that I would love to meet one day. And then if you really want to cry, anything by Lurleen McDaniel. This is called True Love. It has 3 books in it. They're like pretty short, but hers are really sad because there's typically people in them that are terminally ill or any kind of stuff like that, and there's love stories, and they're always really sweet stories that make you pretty much bawl your eyes out. So if you want that, get this, because I got this book once at Goodwill a couple of years ago and I read it the same night because I was just so entranced by her writing. So the next section is a combination of new adult and literary fiction. These ones I haven't really talked about too much on my channel because I don't really read new adult, and whenever I do, I don't really like it that much. But these ones I loved. This one is called Easy by Tamara Weber. I don't even know how to explain this one. Oh yeah, like I haven't read this one in a long time. I should have read the back before I started this video. This guy basically saves this girl's life at one point, and then basically their paths keep intertwining after that. So it's super good. I feel like these are more based for people around my age, like their early 20s. They're not quite YA, but they're not quite adult either. They're kind of like an in-between. Same goes for this one with Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. Wait. Oh no, I looked back at my Wicked book and I was like, wait, it's the same author, but that's Gregory McGuire and this is Jamie McGuire. This one's about a girl at college and then a guy who's like a bad boy. He's a fighter and rides motorcycles, and you know, you guys know how those stories go, but like these are both really good. My literary fiction book choice for this pile was White Oleander by Janet Fitch. I've talked about this story to people before, and there's a young girl named Astrid whose mother ends up in jail, and Astrid gets bounced around from foster home to foster home. This is pretty much the story of that, and this one's really deep and it's really good, and there's a movie about it, which I didn't know for a long time, but I watched it a couple years ago and it was pretty good, so that one's pretty interesting. Starting with nonfiction, I have one that's not necessarily nonfiction, but it's not really fiction either, and it's 365 Days of Wonder by RJ Palacio. It goes along with the with like the book Wonder, but this one has different little like quotes. Hold on, what is today's date? I'll show you. Hold on. Today is the 24th of July, so I'm going to flip to that. And it's just little quotes for every day. And today says, "Believe you can and you're halfway there." Theodore Roosevelt. So that's pretty much what it is. It's just little inspirations for every day. I like to read this as often as I can. Sometimes I forget, but I like it. I just think it's good for some positive reinforcement. The next one, going in the nonfiction section, is this one is A Stolen Life. It's a memoir by J.C. Dugard. She's the one that got abducted, and she was found like years and years and years later when she escaped / was rescued. She wrote this. It's her story about what happened. Oh, she was 18. She was prisoner for 18 years. This one's really, really good. It's very emotional. I think it's just one of those ones. It kind of reads a little bit like a novel, so it doesn't feel as nonfiction. I really, really enjoy memoirs. And this one's really sad, but I really liked it. I read this my freshman year of high school, and I cannot even explain to you how good of a book that was. If you don't want something that is dark, I really enjoyed reading memoirs by YouTubers. I only really get the ones from the people that I really truly like look up to. There's a few more I need to get now, but the first one I have is Binge by Tyler Oakley. I love Tyler Oakley. He is just like the coolest person ever. And then I have Really Professional Internet Person by Jen McAllister. These are just fun. They're normally quick and they normally have a lot of pictures. They're pretty good for like road trips if you want something quick to read. Plus, I mean, you really can hear the voice of the person from YouTube like while you're reading this. Like I feel like I read this in Tyler's voice and I feel like I read this in Jen's voice. So those are super fun. I'm trying to think of some more that I want. I can't think of any off the top of my head for like YouTuber memoirs. I mean, I want all of Shane Dawson's, but I mean, you guys know I'm obsessed with Shane, so that's really no surprise for anybody. So now we have classics, and the books that I picked have like a loose use of the term classics. They're not the super heavy ones like the Jane Austen books or anything by Charles Dickens. It's nothing crazy. It's more ones that are more like modern, but I feel like are falling into that classics genre. The first one is The Help by Catherine Stockett. I love this book. If you have never read this, it's amazing and the movie's really good, and I feel like I need to reread this because I literally read this in like the 8th grade. But there's a woman that wants to be a writer, and then there is a group of black maids, basically, because this is in Jackson, Mississippi in 1962. And the maids are not treated very well, and so this writer decides she is going to basically be a voice for them and tell their stories. And there's a book that's published, and all kinds of hijinks ensue from having all of this happen. And it was really, really good. It's really funny. The movie is hilarious. I loved it so much. I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. Up next, again, loose term of classics, but I picked Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I love Wicked. Once again, it's one of the ones I need to reread. I saw the play once and I want to see it again. It was so good. I feel like this is kind of falling into the classics, sort of, because The Wizard of Oz is a classic, so I feel like this is kind of going in there too. I like the play better than the book, but like I feel like I need to reread it now that I've seen the play, because what happened was I read this before I saw the play. The play gave me a better understanding of the book, and now I just need to read the book again, if that makes sense. But it's still really good even if you don't see the play. But like I needed the visual of the play, I feel like, to like really like have things hit home. So then the next book is The Giver by Lois Lowry. This could also fall into children's books. Literally, you can see my name in here. I read this in the 5th grade. I'm covering up my last name, but like you can see how crappy my handwriting was. But this one's really good. It's basically about what is considered to be a utopian community. And whenever you reach a certain age, all of the kids are given their job that's supposed to be their job for the rest of their life. But he's given the job of the giver to get all of the memories of what life was like before they became this utopian society. And it's pretty crazy. There's a whole series. There's 4 books. And it's pretty good. It's pretty deep. It really makes you kind of think about like life and what could end up being, what could end up happening one day. Alright, so for my last section is my others. The first thing I'm recommending is a graphic novel, because sometimes people during the summer you like to read graphic novels because they go by pretty quick. And this is Mouse. This is the complete Mouse. I have edition 1 and edition 2. I don't have like the bind up of the 2 of them together. But this is a story. This author wrote it about, was it his dad or was it his grandpa? I think it was his dad. Yeah, but his dad told him the story about his experience with World War II. So basically the mice are Jewish people and the cats in the book are the Nazis. And I love it though because this is like really getting like an actual historical look at someone's life and how they dealt with some of it. But it's kind of in like a fun format. I read this whenever I was in maybe middle school, but it's really interesting. Like having, I don't know, having something sad talked about in a way that makes things easier to understand and gives you a visual on things that were happening. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense, my explanation, or not, but I don't know, they're really good, and I love the art style that they're in. They're so cool. Up next, I picked a sci-fi book, and it's the Across the Universe trilogy. Basically, the plot of this book loosely is that there's these people on a spaceship, they're cryogenically frozen, and something happens and people get woken up early, and people want to know why. This trilogy was really good. I literally read these in like a week, but this was so good. Considering I don't really even like sci-fi, so this is something I personally found really good. I've heard mixed reviews from other people, but I really liked it, so that's that. And then the last book in my kind of other section is the Lux series. Is this what it's called? The Lux series? That's what I'm gonna call it. It's a Lux series. This one has 2 books in it. There's a second one that has 2, and there's a 5th book that's on its own. Basically, this is Twilight with aliens. That's all I can tell you. Again, it's one of those ones, not like the best quality of writing in the world, but they're one of those just like fun summary books that you can read, fly through. You'll really enjoy the characters. And yeah, I think that's important. Okay, everybody, that was it for all of my recommendations. That's how many books this was. 1, 2, 3, 20. I've recommended 20 books to you guys. You guys better love me, and these were all from different genres. I thought about all of y'all out there instead of just giving you some contemporaries and telling you to have a good day. That being said though, have a good day. Go to your library, go to your bookstore, get these books, read them, enjoy them. You have some summer left, so enjoy the reading time while you can. That's it, everybody. I will see you in my next video. Bye!